I cried or if I laughed, I just remember I want my money back. I can't remember if it sucked or if I had a blast. All I know is at the end of the show, when the credits rolled, it said Filmtopiacast 3000.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Filmtopiacast 3000. I'm your host, Greg McIver, and with me is my co-host,
Nicky Boom Boom.
Oh, we're going with that, aren't
We're gonna go with that.
Okay. On this most recent episode of Filmtopiacast, we are going to talk about a couple of movies that we've seen. Surprise, surprise. But this is a really special episode of Filmtopiacast 3000 because for the first time, this episode is coming to you absolutely free. No cost whatsoever.
You guys have been mailing in your $5 every time you listen, right?
Yeah.
Because we haven't been getting it. So if you have watched
I put
any of our 13 previous episodes, please, this would be a good time to mail in.
Well, I didn't.
Give us your money.
Oh shit! I put the 502 address. Who's living at 502 now?
Somebody with all our $5 bills, Greg.
Let's roll. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna talk about a couple movies that we saw recently. I recently saw the film Les Miserables, and Nick recently saw.
I saw Zero Dark 30, which was the hot sequel to Zero Dark 29.
Oh my god!
I thought of that joke at the theater as I was walking home,
Okay.
and then I went on the internet to see if anyone else had made that joke, and they have.
Oh well, that's okay. You know, great minds think alike.
Yeah.
You know, how many people made the joke before?
I don't know.
Okay.
You can do Google search on and conduct your own research, but
Alright, that's fine.
it's out there. It's in the wind.
That's fair. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So let's get started with yours, the movie that you chose. What did you think of Zero Dark 30?
I went into Zero Dark 30 with what I would like to call a big America boner.
There you go.
Because, you know, it's the story of how we got him.
Yeah!
I was also handed some literature on my way into the theater. There was a very nice gentleman on my way to buy tickets stopped me and was like, "Excuse me, are you going to go see Zero Dark 30?" And I said, "Well, yes, I am." And he handed me a couple pamphlets on the evils of torture and how it never actually obtained us any information.
Ironically, he didn't realize he was torturing you by giving you this to read.
Exactly.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, all politics aside, because I don't want to get into any of that as much as it can be avoided. Basically, it was really good. It was most comparable, I think, to Moby Dick.
Interesting.
Which I also, I did another quick Google search, and other people said that too. But these are the reasons.
Okay.
It's very hyper realistic.
Yeah.
And actually, Moby Dick was written in response to like Henry David Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson like playing around with butterflies in the woods, and somebody Melville was just like, I'm gonna make a really realistic and manly novel about hunting down a whale. And Jessica Chastain is our Ahab in this movie. She's recruited to the CIA right out of high school and is
out of high school?
Yeah, that's what she says.
The hell?
So I don't know if like that means they recruit her out of high school, put her through college, and then send her to I believe she starts in Pakistan.
Okay. Interesting.
But yeah, no, she says that in her conversation with James Gandolfini, who plays the...
Gandolfini's in it?
Yeah, he plays the head of the CIA in this movie.
So Tony Soprano took down Osama bin Laden. Yes!
Well, really...
Weird
really,
fan fiction going on.
Whoever Jessica Chastain's character is in real life is really the person that got him. I mean... Obviously, Marines pulled the trigger, or Special Forces guys, or what have you. But Jessica Chastain's character is the one that like doggedly follows this lead. She's in the Middle East for, I don't know, the start of the movie's like 2001. Mm-hmm. She's there for at least like 9 years.
Okay.
Like just relentlessly pursuing this one lead from the beginning of her career, in which a detainee that they had tortured a bit gives up a name, and that name keeps coming up. I think it's Abu Ahmed.
Okay.
And everybody else, it's been years, and the lead has gone nowhere, but she's just like fixated on it and hunts it down and hunts it down. At one point, it seems like that person is dead, and she just doesn't believe it.
Huh.
And anyway, Abu Ahmed ends up being the spoiler alert, guys. Osama bin Laden.
No, I don't want to know this.
Osama bin Laden dies at the end of the
No.
movie.
You mean it doesn't end with like a slow zoom in on his corpse, his face as he's lying there dead, and then one eye pops open? And
Question
mark. Oh,
no.
We expect more from you, Catherine Bigelow. No.
Now she's directed the Hurt Locker, I believe, which I did not see.
Yes.
But it won Best Picture, didn't it?
It did win Best Picture, and it didn't deserve to. It's a good movie. No, The Hurt Locker is a fine movie. It is. That's just it. It's good. It's not great. So I've always been a little confused as to why it got so much acclaim, because it was a fine movie, but.
Fair enough.
I didn't that special.
I didn't see it, so I have no opinion either way. This was a very good movie.
Okay, yeah. That's what I've heard.
Jessica Chastain did a fine job on this.
Indeed.
And one thing you told me about Hurt Locker that I found here was that you kind of you see some big name people, but just for a second. Or really in this one, it was more like she used a lot of character actors, and there was nobody. There's like Jessica Chastain's her big star,
right?
And like I said, Gandolfini pops up for a minute, but then otherwise, like there's another guy that ends up being kind of her mentor when she first arrives in Pakistan. I had to look him up.
Is it the guy from Super 8?
No, the dad from Super 8 is in it too. Is kind of her direct superior.
Okay.
The kind of overseer of her branch.
Gotcha.
He's very good. Mark Strong is in it.
Okay.
Who played Sinestro in the Green Lantern.
Of course.
And actually, this is a good segue. So one of the films that I was reminded of here was another film that featured Mark Strong, which was Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, which
yes.
we were both very disappointed by, I think.
Well, I think we didn't expect, because it's all a bunch of British people talking very softly like this.
Very politely discussing espionage.
Politely discussing espionage, and I might have to put a bullet through that person's head.
Oh, wow. That would be very dreadful if you were forced to do such a thing.
Indeed, it would. Perhaps we should talk about it for 2 more hours!
It turns out that you are the mole. That's really how the climax of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy
yeah,
felt.
I mean,
like, okay, well that's it, and this is why I was reminded of it. Also, the thing that reminded me was Zero Dark 30. It shows you that sometimes espionage and intelligence are really boring and tedious, and a lot of just like grinding your gears to try to find. And Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy showed that as well, but it didn't make for an entertaining movie. Zero Dark 30 picks up that same kind of line of reasoning and still delivers an entertaining movie by kind of almost montaging it in certain points. There's they discover a big lead at one point where they found a compound and they're pretty sure he's there, but they need to get it verified with the proper channels and basically get the funding and the green light.
They have to get the funding? When will the excitement end?
Yeah. but it's done in a very speedy fashion. It's almost like a montage of Jessica Chastain going up to her boss's glass door on his office and like writing a number that's the amount of days since they found she'll write like 5 days and be like, it's been 5 days since we found this gold mine lead and you're doing nothing about it. And 5 turns into like 25 and then 95.
And he gets pissed off that she keeps writing on his door, and she's eventually fired, right?
No, because at that point she's done such good work and has that temperament and attitude that she's confronted one of her bosses in the past and threatened to get him fired, basically, because she was like, hey, you can, because everybody's like concerned about her because she's like going crazy tracking down this one lead.
Right.
And she's like, okay, well, you can not give me what I want and then send me back to Washington and explain to your superiors that you did so because I was doggedly pursuing Osama bin Laden and you didn't want that. And they're like, oh, well, let's just give you what you want then.
Yeah, there we go. That sounds like a good idea.
So yeah, Moby Dick story, very hyper realistic.
Interesting.
A lot of the bad stuff that America has to do in order to get where it needs to go gets portrayed here, and it doesn't get portrayed in a like this is bad and wrong or a heck yeah America light.
Right.
It's just she just gives it to you straight, basically. Like, we did torture some people. We did
No, nobody tortured anybody. This is where controversy comes from.
When we raided the compound, like, fathers were definitely killed in front of their children, Like, these things happened.
No.
But they happened so that we could get this man who destroyed the World Trade Center and killed 3,000 American citizens. And they just give it to you straight like that. It's like,
okay.
Hey, that's actually what happened, guys. So,
Well, I'm interested to see it. I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list of things to see. I need to see that. I still want to see the Silver Linings Playbook.
yeah.
Which is good. That I've heard. I've heard it's very good. I've only recently seen what we talked about the last episode, Lincoln and Django Unchained, and such, which are both excellent movies.
Well,
and Argo.
I think we both got a little catching up to do, but I think things are slowing down now. Too.
Yeah, things are.
I'm not really clamoring to see Gangster Squad.
Oh no, that looks awful.
I don't know if I think it looks awful, but
No, you said it before when you first saw the preview. It looks like another like mobsters, with
yeah, it does look like
Christian
mobsters.
Slater.
It looks like a bunch of young
Yeah.
Hollywood kids dressing up in suits and playing gangster.
Playing gangster, with just like Christian Slater with I'm Lucky Luciano, I'm Italian.
Yeah.
Any new business? No, it looks very.
I'd be willing to give it a shot, but I'm not really super excited to go pay money in theater to go see Gangster Squad.
No. That's why I have a gift card.
Or I'm sure you have some strong opinions on Texas Chainsaw 3D.
God damn it! Why do they keep doing this? Yes, at this point, I don't even really care anymore. Let them keep making it. The original is still there. The second one is still there. The first two are still there, and nothing they do in Hollywood now is going to change that unless they somehow get a hold of every single copy on the planet and destroy it. Aside from that, barring that really unlikely scenario, those first two movies are going to be there. And yes, I am including the second one in that because, I'm sorry, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is brilliant in its own right. That was Tobe Hooper's big fuck you, not only to Hollywood, but to the film-going public, and it was so brilliant.
Explain to our audience how that...
Okay.
Break that down for us here.
All right, so the Texas Chainsaw Massacre... Wow, we're getting really off topic, but whatever. It's a podcast about film. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one, surprisingly, it's very light on gore and blood. It went more for psychological scares than anything else. Very, very little blood in it, and it was just a very intense, movie. But it, came out, and then at the time, a lot of other movies were coming out that featured a killer,
Slasher killers,
killer, type films. But those movies were very bloody, and they were very cheap, and they didn't really have, the artistic qualities that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre had. So, in a way, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of got swept up in that. So
people just associated that with
exactly.
the Gore Fest.
Yeah, exactly. When people referred to as gory movies or splatter movies, they'd be like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the king of the splatter movie. And that pissed off Tobe Hooper very, very much. And also, from what I've heard from other people, is they hadn't really been giving him a lot to do in Hollywood at that point. So, aside from the fact that they kind of kept nudging him, hey, you want to make a sequel to that Texas Chainsaw movie? So finally, just being pissed off at the powers that be for not giving him something, else to work on, and then the movie-going public for not paying attention and for, just, irregardlessly just including that into the splatterfest genre. He was just like, you know what? You want to see what a Texas Chainsaw Massacre would look like if there was buckets of blood, if you had chainsaw battles, Dennis Hopper battling Leatherface with 2 chainsaws, corpses being played around with as costume pieces, a guy with a friggin' metal plate in his head that likes to electrocute himself. Yeah, I'll give you all that. Screw all the originality and the realism of the first movie. I'm going all out. And it's brilliant in and of its own
sort of
right.
like, it's a parody of what people wanted from him.
It is exactly a parody of what people wanted from him and what the first movie could have been.
Right.
And in its own way, it's a great little satire of the genre that he essentially helped create. So definitely the first 2 Texas Chainsaw Massacres. Check them out. I'm your host, Craig. I'm kidding. No, we're not ending this now.
No. Now you have to talk about how strongly you disliked Les Miserables.
Yeah. Let's see. I went to see Les Miserables last week.
Less Miserables.
Less Miserables, more happiness. No, I went to see it last week, and how do I put this? I walked out halfway through the film because it was pissing me off.
Now, I did not see this movie. I have no opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people strongly will disagree with you.
Oh, absolutely.
I also know some people are just so strongly into Les Miserables as a thing that they can't,
Look, let me put it out there right now. The music is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
The songs are beautiful. I've got nothing wrong with the material itself, and the actors are fine. I don't even mind Russell Crowe. Sure, singing-wise, he's the weakest out of all of them.
It's kind of to be expected going into it.
It is to be expected because he doesn't have a huge musical theater background. He's got a rock and roll band background,
Yeah.
He came up singing in bars and stuff like that. So he can sing. Don't anyone think that he can't sing. He just doesn't sing like them. Might not have been the best fit for, this epic, Broadway musical adaptation, but whatever. I think it works, and he's the least of the movie's problems.
Okay.
What the movie does wrong is the fact that, the director, Mr. Tom Hooper, another Hooper. It's the evening of Hoopers. What he likes to do is, in this film, is he likes to put the camera right up against the actor's face while they're singing a song, and then he just holds it there. And then that's it. Nothing else. There are 1 or 2 scenes where he allows some movement or some, choreography. Now, granted, this is only the first half of the movie that I'm talking about right now, so maybe it got better during the second half, but at that point, I just didn't give a shit about anybody, because it was so rushed, too. So aside from the fact that it was intensely boring to watch, because it was just a constant, lineup of close-ups, and nothing else was happening, and again, people have made the argument, well, no, the song carries the story. The story is in the song. You almost can just close your eyes and that's good enough. And to that I say, nay, for the love of God.
Film is sort of a visual medium.
Film is a visual art, for Christ's sakes, I don't go to a movie theater and be like, I'm going to lean back, close my eyes, and have a good time. Absolutely not. It was such backwards thinking in regards to the way it was shot. And I had been warned that it was sort of like this, but I didn't expect it to be 90% of the goddamn numbers that they did. So, in that respect, it was very upsetting. And then just the pacing was all off. Everything was so rushed. And again, people that support it will be like, well, that's how the musical is. I don't care how the stage show is, okay? I do not care. I came to see a movie. It is a stupid idea to take a show, just a play, and just decide to slap it on the screen just as is. I should say more specifically a musical. Some plays you could get away with that.
Yeah,
some straight plays.
But I mean, there's a big difference between film and theater, and there's a reason it's called an adaptation and not just like a transfer.
Exactly.
You shouldn't just be representing what's on the stage. You should represent the essence of what's on the stage.
Of course, absolutely. Represent the essence, Hire the best possible people, which they did.
Yeah.
And I will say this, friggin' Catwoman there, Anne Hathaway.
Catwoman and Wolverine.
Catwoman and Wolverine. And Jarrell from the new Superman movie coming up. Eddie Redmayne and Amanda Seyfried, you got to get on this and get into your own
you gotta get
superhero
in the
movies.
superhero movie, yeah.
Join the club. Catwoman there, Anne Hathaway, Princess Diaries, she's fantastic. She was the one time I didn't actually mind it when the thing was just in damn close-up on her, because she had really good levels in her song, which did kind of quote-unquote take you on a journey.
Mhm.
But again, it just got to be too much, and the pacing is just so off because it's rushed. It just goes, in the first 10 minutes of the movie, you go from Jean Valjean being in prison to being paroled to going out into the world to finding the priest to stealing from the priest to getting caught, brought back to the priest, exonerated by the priest, and then months later is the governor, runs back into Javert, meets Fantine, Fantine dies, Valjean gets the kid, and it's been 15, 20 minutes, it seems like. It just goes by so damn quickly, to the point where I didn't have time to be emotionally invested in anybody or anything because it was moving so damn quickly, which is half the reason why I walked out in the first place.
Describe the moment that you walked out, 'cause I think this is funny.
Well, the moment I walked out is the moment where I just burst out laughing at the movie, and that's when I realized, okay, this movie has totally lost me, and really nothing it can do at this point is going to get me back, so I just need to start over at a later date.
Mhm.
Okay, so Valjean, played by Hugh Jackman, he's on the run from Javert, played by Russell Crowe. So Valjean is on the run from Javert, and he's got the little girl that he's going to adopt and take as his own daughter. And so they're running from Javert, and they get into this courtyard of a church, and there's a man digging, and Valjean is just like, "Monsieur, please, you have to help us." And the guy turns and he says, "Monsieur le Maire?" And he's like, "How do you know me?" All done in whispers, by the way, because they're trying to avoid somebody. He's like, "Monsieur le Maire, how do you know me? I was the man that you helped earlier in the film." He doesn't say earlier in the film, but he's like, "I was the man that you helped earlier. You saved me from when my cart fell on me." He's like, "Oh my goodness, sir, you must give me and this little girl sanctuary. It is imperative that you help us." And in return, he just belts out, because again, most everything is sung in this movie and not spoken, so the whispering actually caught me off guard. I was like, are they talking? And then he just belts out, and I just lost it. I was just like, shh, shh, just gonna hear you, man. And everyone in my row turned to look at me, and I just kind of apologized. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm out, I can't do it anymore. And yeah, I left because I just realized the movie had lost me, and it wasn't getting me back anytime soon. So I do intend to maybe revisit this at some point, because I believe in giving a movie a fair shake. And, you know, I don't say I walked out of it as a point of pride, like, I walked out, look at me, and be impressed. It's
Right.
just like, you know, I went to see a movie. I wanted to be entertained. I didn't want to, you know, sit through half a movie and then walk out. That's not, you know, what I was looking for. So I will revisit it hopefully at some point, and maybe I can get through it. Maybe there is some redemption for it, but I just don't foresee it happening.
No, you told me Tom Hooper. I didn't see the King's Speech either. I'm bad at this game.
No, that's fine. Tom Hooper.
He's done this before, though.
Yeah, although it was more successful in my opinion, at least in the King's Speech, because at least in the King's Speech, not every damn shot was a close-up of somebody, you know, the camera right in their face. This is the thing with Tom Hooper. He's really good at finding great actors and picking good stories, interesting stories. He just doesn't really seem to know what to do with the camera very much. Because all the King's speeches, when you look at that movie, again, it's a movie filled with great actors, and it's a wonderful story. It's a very interesting story. So in the end, I liked the movie for those merits. But visually, it's a very boring movie. And I'm not saying that he should have been, you know, jerking the camera left and right and doing all sorts of tricks and stuff like that. But the whole movie is just people standing in doorways.
Yeah.
It's either somebody is standing in a doorway, walking down a hallway, walking into a room. Those are the three shots that he can kind of do.
Walking down the hallway, sitting on a couch.
Sitting on a couch, sitting on a couch, pizza roll. Sorry, little Mr. Plinkett reference there. Yeah, that's all the three shots of the movie. Standing in a doorway, walking into a room, or walking down a hallway. That's pretty much it. So, yeah, it's a bit boring. And when I heard that he had been tapped to direct Les Mis, at first I thought, well, hell, that's going to be a great cast because he knows how to pick good people. And then second, I was just like, oh, but I don't think, because that's a pretty epic, musical. I mean, it's
Sure.
one of the most famous musicals of all time, and I'm assuming they're going to want to make this into a sweeping, epic, visual feast. And
Well, and I think the extended preview that we were all treated to
yes,
a million times before every movie that we saw for like the
Hi,
past
I'm Hugh Jackman.
3 or 4 months.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of promised that.
It did, because that little snippet that we were shown had editing, and it basically edited together all of the moments in the movie where the camera actually moved.
Yeah.
So, we were sort of teased, by that. We weren't given what we were promised. I was really hoping he was going to grow as a visual person with this, but, he didn't. He didn't, and in the end, it was ultimately disappointing. The movie was very disappointing. I knew it was going to win the Golden Globe, because it was nominated for Best Comedy/Musical, and it's a musical.
Yeah.
So, and I knew they weren't going to give it to Moonrise Kingdom, rather, the movie that should have won that award.
It's one of your favorite movies of
It
the
is
past year.
one of
right?
my favorite movies of 2012 was Moonrise Kingdom. Fantastic movie. Getting a bit of a reputation now for being a hipster movie.
Yeah, well, it's a Wes Anderson movie, and I think people just like to slap that label on him.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
I'd be interested. I was talking with my good friend Ricardo Rodriguez about this a few days ago, and I said, yeah, Moonrise Kingdom is getting a reputation for being a hipster movie, and he says, okay, ask anybody why they think the movie is a hipster movie, and I'm willing to bet you that when you listen to their answers, they're going to come off sounding like a goddamn hipster. And I'm like, okay, that is interesting.
That's a good point.
Well, I will definitely have to try that out. But yeah, no, Moonrise Kingdom was absolutely brilliant. We should talk very briefly about the Golden Globes that just happened.
Sure. Hey, real quick, you did
No,
remind
Golden Globes!
You did remind me of there was a point in Zero Dark 30 where people busted out laughing at a kind of an uncomfortable moment.
Really?
Yeah. Once again, spoiler alert: Osama bin Laden dies again. So this is the point where they're actually raiding the compound though,
Okay.
and they know there's like 3 or 4 high-profile Al Qaeda suspects
Right.
that they think are there. So they as they're clearing the floors and the areas that they believe these people are in, the soldiers that are clearing the floors are actually like calling out to them to try to get them to like, basically this is your chance to lay down your arms and surrender,
Right.
or we're gonna shoot you.
Okay.
So like they'll be going through the first guy they come at is Abu Ahmed, and they're like, Abu Ahmed, or I think he goes by a different family name. I think it's Israel or something like that.
Okay.
So they're in the dark and they got the guns and they got the night vision and they're in there and they're like, Israel, and they try to like get his attention, get him to, and of course shots are fired and they shoot him and he dies.
Right.
Well, no, that's not the last. But they
okay.
do this like three times because there's a couple different layers they gotta clear and a couple different high profile Al Qaeda criminals in there. And the last one, of course, is Osama bin Laden. So they get to like the top floor and they're like, Osama, and people started giggling their heads off because it is a little funny. They're like, hey, Osama.
Oh, come on. Look at you.
You're Osama.
He's a good little terrorist.
But yeah, it was like a super tense, serious moment, which I think also, when things are uncomfortable, you're more likely to laugh sometimes.
Interesting.
But I thought it was really funny because they call out to him like 3 or 4 times, and people laughed every time. And it was like, oh, well, I'm not laughing, but
you can appreciate it.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Well, again, laughter is the best medicine. An intense moment helps out. Well, interesting. I still have to see that movie. I am very interested in seeing Mr. Zero Dark 30. Mr. Zero Dark 30. It's now its own entity.
Miss Zero.
Oh,
Jessica
yes.
Chastain is
Zero Dark 30. Oh, fantastic.
The terrorist killing superhero.
Oh, God. Yeah. She's cute.
She's super cute.
Yeah,
and
she's going to be in that new movie, Mama, that's coming out.
Oh, she is.
Yeah. Guillermo del Toro presents Mama. Looks really good. It's a scary movie. Look up the trailer. Anyway, the Golden Globes.
Which I think Jessica, did she win?
Yes, she did win the Golden Globe for Zero Dark
Fantastic.
30.
Because
deservedly so.
That movie made me want to have sex with her in the back of a dead terrorist.
And Okay then. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Civitello, if you're listening, I can assure you
not.
they didn't get this from me. All right, well, Mom and Dad, if you're listening, I did not influence this man to say such things. No,
She's great in the movie.
no. She's a hot little number, isn't she?
Well, not too, but no, highly deserved win for
Okay.
the GG there. She did a GG to get that GG.
Nice, not what?
Good job. Great gig. I'm off the rails.
That was me screeching and lunging at him, by the way. Yeah, we should really do a video show at some point. Anyway, she looks, like she would be really good in the movie. I mean, from what I could tell from the trailers, I guess.
So who else won things?
Well, the big surprise of the evening was Argo picking up Best Picture and Best Director. In the end, I think it kind of makes sense when you think about it. Because don't get me wrong, I really liked Argo. I thought Argo was a great movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. Really well done. Affleck is just... He gets better and better with every movie. He just really is a great film director now. But I think... But everyone was a little confused about why, they chose Argo. And I think, well, the reason is, if you think about it... Okay, so the other two big, contenders for the award was either Lincoln or Django Unchained.
Yeah.
Not to say that the other nominees, for the award, don't count, but I'm just saying the two that people were thinking about. Well, you got Lincoln, and it was directed by Spielberg. Spielberg is a fantastic filmmaker. Not a bad thing to say about the man, other than E.T. It's yeah.
Most people would disagree with you, but
I know.
Let's plow ahead.
Whatever. Lincoln. Spielberg is great. He's wonderful. His films are fantastic. But you know what? He's won this award a couple of times.
Yeah.
He's a little too big now, and it's Hollywood doesn't just want to revert back to give the old champion more awards. They want to recognize
Find a new guy.
Exactly, find a new guy. So in that respect, I think that's why they didn't go with Lincoln. Concurrently, you've got Django Unchained, and it's a great movie. A little edgier maybe than what they would have liked to give the award to, because it is a film about slavery, and it's also essentially a comedy in many aspects of it. So what I'm really trying to say, I guess, is that Django's a bit of an edgier, more controversial type movie. I think that Argo sort of split the difference between the two, because it was an up-and-coming filmmaker, and it was still a very thought-provoking, intense movie, but it didn't really take a view, or a specific view, rather, on a big issue, other than, I guess, is it bad to take hostages or not? So I think it was more of the safe way to go with Argo. And again, I'm not trying to undercut Argo at all. Argo is a fantastic movie, really, really well done. I'm very happy for its win, and I wish it the best of luck at Oscars. Argo, here's looking at you, kid. But yeah, so Argo won Best Picture, and then Ben Affleck won for Best Director as well.
Oh, he did as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
he won Best Director, which again, I'm very happy for him. He absolutely friggin' well deserves it.
Okay.
And then I think the one that kind of came out of left field that really surprised everyone is that a guy, Daniel Day-Lewis, won Best Actor.
Yeah, I wouldn't have seen that coming.
What a lazy performer in his choices.
Really phoning it in.
Yeah, I know. God, that guy hasn't turned in a decent performance since My Left Foot. Anyway, I am right. He is in that. Yeah, I am. So Jessica Chastain, as you mentioned before, won Best Actress. And then Broadway Wolverine won for Best Actor in a musical / comedy. Yeah.
Okay.
So Broadway Wolverine got some props. Anne Hathaway walked away with Best Supporting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Christoph Waltz.
Christoph Waltz, yep, walked away with Best Supporting Actor for Django Unchained. Very happy.
Highly deserved.
Absolutely.
Great performance
He's
there.
fantastic.
They kind of Pulp Fictioned Clinton in this awards, because Django got Best Supporting Actor and got Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah. Is that the way it kind of went with Pulp Fiction?
I believe, yeah. He got Best Original Screenplay, and Sam Jackson got Best Supporting.
Best Screenplay always seems like a really, good consolation prize for, because they did the same thing with Woody Allen for Midnight in Paris. Like, we're not giving you Best Picture for this. We're not giving you Best Director for it. Here's Best Original Screenplay. Not to say that Django didn't deserve that award or Midnight in Paris didn't deserve that award, because they both did, but I'm just saying, I know what you're doing, Academy of Motion Picture and Arts, and I know what you're doing, Hollywood Foreign Press. So you can't fool us because it's two different things.
Did Moonrise then get Best Adapted?
No, I don't think Moonrise got shit.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you're saying. What got Best Adapted Screenplay? Do you know? Do we care? I don't know.
I don't know. It wasn't The Hobbit. I know that much.
Okay.
No, I don't know off the top of my head. And my phone is like 5 feet away
Yeah,
from me.
mine's charging.
I don't feel like grabbing it. So some interesting surprises on the Golden Globes, and some not so interesting surprises.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you saw Zero Dark 30 and liked it, and I saw half of Les Mis and loathed it.
Yeah,
So
that sounds about right.
I think that's pretty much the long and short of it. Well, was there any topics of cinematic
I don't know,
worthiness
anything that
you
you're
were
looking forward to coming out recently, and previews?
No, not one damn thing.
Really?
I don't know. I still have to catch up and see, you know, a lot of the things that are up for awards for the summer. I still want to see Zero Dark, Silver Linings Playbook, as I mentioned before. I really should get around to seeing the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel or whatever that one is. I don't know. Shouldn't I?
Is that because Kira told you to?
No. Did she? At one point?
I don't know. I kind of remember her talking about it.
My friend Lauren saw it. She said it was good, but she wasn't like.
So girls are telling us to see.
Girls are telling us to see that movie, and then I guess Amour is supposed to.
Which
be
I
good
didn't
as
know.
well.
What is that? I had not heard of that until I saw that it was nominated for like 3 or 4 Golden Globes.
It's a really well received film, and it's called Amour.
Yes.
That's all I know about it. That is all I know about the damn thing. I had not heard of it either until it had been nominated.
I think
for
it's
stuff. It is a foreign film
because I think it was nominated for Best Foreign Film.
It won Best Foreign Film, yeah.
Okay.
So it's also up for Best Foreign Film for the Oscar, as well as Best Picture for the Oscar as well.
Mm.
So I think it's going to pull a Life is Beautiful, and it's not going to get Best Picture at the Oscar, but it will certainly take away Best Foreign Film.
Okay.
That's probably how they'll do that one. But no, I should check it out.
I suppose it's probably about love because, you know.
Really?
Amour.
Oh.
But I should probably be prepared with a bit of a synopsis.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. That's fine. We'll look into that for you, and we'll get back with you. I'm just kind of playing catch up right now. I don't. I can't think of any. I mean, other than the usual that we've already talked about, you know, like Star Trek Into Darkness and such. I'm excited about that.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Spring Breakers, although I've mentioned that before.
Dude, did you see the trailer today?
No, they released a
new one? They released a trailer!
I'm gonna go look at that immediately once we're done with this.
Yeah! What are you gonna do one? When did you see a trailer last for?
Oh, I guess I just made one up in my head.
Yeah, dude, you gotta get on that. Yeah,
okay.
That's gonna be the best movie ever
I'm so
made.
excited about that.
That is gonna be the best movie ever made. The great thing about the Spring Breakers is, we've talked about this on a previous show, is that they're really taking it seriously. Like it's not tongue in cheek. Like they are 100% serious with this premise, and it looks great. It looks absolutely fantastic.
If you don't know, they've cast 4 Disney starlets.
Yes.
Who we only really know as, well, Vanessa Hudgens maybe not, but mostly we only know them as like innocent little Disney girls. And the guy who wrote Kids, Harmony Korine, and directed another movie called Gummo, which is really messed up.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken them and put them in bikinis, and they're going on a crime spree during spring break.
You had me at bikinis.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
And James Franco has like gold teeth and braids and plays a drug dealer named Alien.
Yep, absolutely.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Oh, this movie is gonna be so over the top. You gotta see the trailer. It's great. They're wearing pink ski masks at one point, firing off automatic weapons. It's really it's gonna definitely be one of the greatest films in the history of mankind.
I think we can all agree on that. The other thing I wanna make this official right here. I'm excited about a Michael Bay movie that's coming out. And
My God.
I know. I haven't really liked anything he's done since, like, maybe The Rock.
Yeah.
But he has a movie with Marky Mark coming out called Pain and Gain. It's Marky Mark and Tony Shalhoub and The Rock.
Yes.
And it's a heist movie in the 90s about bodybuilders in Miami. Getting pumped and robbing a guy.
Now, it does look like, from what little I've seen of the trailer, it does look like this was played for laughs.
It looks like it's going to be a little funny,
yeah.
Because they're so super, like, fitness is their life.
Right.
And the trailer starts with him, like, doing like the what do you call him, like hanging leg. He's hanging from his legs and doing crunches.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, I'm big, I'm strong, I'm awesome. And then the cops come, he's like, oh no! And he like runs
Oh yeah,
to the
because he's
cops.
on a billboard.
Yeah.
He's like, it wasn't always like this. As
Yeah.
the film freezes. No, because the film doesn't look like it's taking itself seriously, and it looks like it's gonna try and have a good old time. This one might actually be entertaining because Michael Bay's one weakness is, his films being too serious or trying to be too serious, and ends up being funny because his films are about stupid things. Pearl Harbor being an exception. That wasn't a stupid thing. That was something that really happened. It was just done in a really poor way.
But we're getting back into like Bad Boys territory.
Yeah,
where it's like,
yeah.
It's his same, the things that make people call him a brilliant visual filmmaker.
Yeah.
Are going to be applied instead of to like giant CGI robots, which anyway.
Yeah.
Instead of that, he's taking it back and focusing on nitty gritty things, but portraying them in like a huge over the top way, like he did with the Bad Boys movies,
Right.
or like arguably some aspects of The Rock, although
Yeah.
it's a little bit more of a over the top premise.
Yeah, no, absolutely it is. No, I mean, I'd be an absolute liar if I didn't say I didn't enjoy some of his earlier works. Again,
Yeah.
The Rock for the most part. I'll even grudgingly admit Armageddon is a little entertaining too. It's over the top and it's melodramatic, whatnot, but whatever. It was dumb fun. Bad Boys 2 I hated when I saw it initially. I need to see it again. I saw it years ago. And I think it might have been one of those things because everyone I went to see it with absolutely loved it and just like, you guys know what you're talking about. But no, I didn't like Bad Boys 2, so I should revisit it. But hopefully this, what's it called again? Pain and Gain?
Pain and Gain, I think it's called.
Pain and Gain.
I'm kind of psyched for it.
All right.
And actually, since you brought up Armageddon, we can bring things full circle here.
Yes.
That's a movie that I went to go see with my buddy Mark we must have been in high school, and that was a movie where he started laughing uncontrollably. At a really awkward moment.
Oh, okay.
Like the other two incidences we were talking about.
Absolutely.
And the part that he was laughing uncontrollably at was, I think it was really more about who was around, because we went to see it and it was a bunch of like little teenage girls in the theater.
Okay.
And it's Bruce Willis giving his like farewell speech to
Yes.
Tyler, and everybody's not a dry eye in the house.
Right.
And even I'm kind of like sucked in and serious about the moment, and then Mark next to me just like has this high pitched cackle. I'm like, oh my god! And I started laughing because I'm with him.
Of course.
And so essentially, yeah, we laughed at a theater full of girls.
Oh, well, nothing wrong with that. It is a very schmaltzy moment.
It's very schmaltzy.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I cannot fault you for that as well. I don't know. Star Trek Into Darkness, Spring Breaker is going to be the greatest cinematic, thing
It'll be a
of all
milestone.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be fantastic. So just playing catch up right now. When we come back to you next, both of us will have seen hundreds of more movies. Thousands even. Millions. We call it Antiseptic Manor. We're going to see a ton of movies, and then we're going to have a lot more to talk about the next time that we come back. I'm sort of on empty right now. What about you? You got anything else to talk about?
Go see Zero Dark 30 for America.
Yeah, don't go see Les Mis.
For France?
America? Just don't go see it. It's not worth your time. Well, anyway, thank you again for joining us. I've been your host, Greg McIver, and with me has been
Nicky Boom Boom.
And we will see you next time.